Hi, and welcome to Corner Fine Art. Thank you for joining me today for another video. So I was doing some painting today, earlier in the day, and I was painting some artomats, which is a project that I do where blocks of my art are distributed all over the US in these vending machines. If you're interested in learning more, you can look it up at Artomat. And I had some paint left over, and I thought it would be a great idea to do some intuitive painting and meditation painting. I haven't done a video like this in a while, and it's something that I do often and something in which I use art as a tool to meditate and manage my mental state. So with the holidays coming, Thanksgiving just passed. Maybe some of you don't celebrate Thanksgiving but are still feeling anxiety and depression and a lot of overwhelming feelings. So a way to deal with those feelings is by doing intuitive painting. So I want to talk a little bit about that today and how you can also explore this at home in your sketchbook. So I'm going to be using the paint that I had left from the project that I was working on earlier, but you can use paint, you can use markers, color pencils, any art medium that you have readily available, even just a pencil or a pen. You don't need to go buy any art materials at all, spend any money. You can do it with things that you have at home, paper and lined paper or white sheet of paper from your printer, and any pens, highlighters, anything you have. So I'm using this paint that I have extra because I don't want to waste it, and also because I want to do some painting to relax my mind and also to kind of let out some of the feelings that I've been having lately with the holidays and other things going on. So I have my small sketchbook, and I'm going to flip to a clean page. So let me show you the paint I have left. And this was a limited palette, so the options aren't as bright. So I have, and I have a lot of paint in here, but it's already dry. But I have black color. I have a dark blue. I have an earthy tone. It's like a terracotta. I have some yellow, and I have some white as well. And I may have a little bit of that light blue, but not too much. And I have my paint brushes, same ones I was using before, my jar of water. And now let me guide you through some intuitive painting and tell you a little bit more as I work on this painting myself. So intuitive painting or intuitive art is when you adopt a spontaneous, bold, and fearless approach to painting as a process of discovery and meditation. So one of the things I'm going to start with here, and this is just one way of doing this. There's multiple ways that you can take to start a painting like this or a piece of art like this. But I'm starting with writing out some words. So part of this process is to look inside you and find things and feelings, emotions that have been obstacles for you recently. So anxiety has been a big obstacle for me lately. More specifically, fear, some anger, self-doubt. I've also been experiencing feelings of helplessness. Loneliness. So I start by writing these feelings down because there's some of the feelings that have really influenced me lately, and I want to make sure that I explore these feelings through this painting that I'm going to do. So, and I think the colors that I have today really go well with these feelings because they're dark. And I do have a little bit of white, which can represent some light. So I'm going to start by just dipping my brush into this dark color. And with intuitive painting, it doesn't have to be a pretty picture. It doesn't have to represent an actual object or a place or a person or anything. You just start and go with what you're feeling like at the moment. You just do some expressive lines like this. And something that is important that you do is to keep introspection in mind as you do this. So for example, when I started the actual painting, after I wrote the words, it's interesting that I started with a line that's curvy and flows smoothly, but it does have some edges that are rough. So it's a juxtaposition to these words that I use, which are very dark and harsh words. So you would think that I would start with a lot of movement and scratches. But in this moment, what I'm feeling is these smooth lines. And I also want to apply some thicker paint on here, because one of my favorite things about paintings is the texture of the paint. So an impasto texture. Impasto just means a thick application of the paint. So when it dries, you can even touch it and feel the texture on the paper. Okay. So as you continue with the painting, think about what makes you happy, what can eliminate those feelings of self-doubt, if you have any, those feelings of anxiety, those feelings of helplessness. What's going to be that cure? For me, is painting. So I'm already working towards letting go of these feelings that I'm feeling today and the last few weeks. And I'm working to cover these up and let them go, because I don't want them to rule my life. You know? I want to have a positive experience on a daily basis. And something that makes me happy is nature. So when I am applying these colors, I am thinking of a natural environment. I'm thinking of water with this deep blue color, the ocean coming through these channels and meeting a place of soil with this brown area, the water bank, the beach, or the river edge. Okay, so as you can see, there's really no shape at all going on. I'm just doing some brush strokes, some different lines, adding some color here and there. In this video, it's an introduction video because if you have never done this before, this is a great activity to get you started on introspection and looking inside you and looking at why are these feelings surfacing in your person and what can you do, what's under your control, that you can do to better your life and take control of these situations that are causing these feelings. At least for me, that's the case. It helps me think about what I can do in situations when I'm feeling anxious and angry. And this is best to do when you're in silence, when you're in a spot where there isn't other people around, where you can just kind of get lost in your thoughts and really think about yourself and nothing else. So I definitely recommend, if you're just starting, to play this video as you try this, but then try it again without any sound, any noise around you. So that you really have a chance to look at yourself. Okay. So I noticed that I'm using mainly primary colors here. I have the yellow, the red, and the blue, which wasn't intentional, it's just what I had left from when I was painting before. And you can really take as much time as you have on this. I ran out of space, but that doesn't mean I can't paint over this again with more lines, if that's where that intuition is taking me. I can always add more coat. I can go over shapes. Whatever feels right. Whatever those thoughts lead you to. and I'm running out of paint. So I'm going to stop right there. And let's take a closer look. It's part of the process also to look at your work after, because it's interesting what you see afterwards. So for example, one thing that it's very common to see in artwork like this, which is abstract, is some type of face. So here I see some eye shapes, like a nose maybe, and a mouth right there, with a red inside of the mouth, like a tongue or something like that. Some angry eyes with red. What other shapes can I see? I see an infinity sign here, lopsided. You can also turn it different ways. And the surface of the paint really makes me happy. You can see some of the texture as I turn it. And I think it definitely represents fear and anxiety, self-doubt, all those feelings that I was feeling. Even the colors fit perfectly, I believe. So hopefully that brought you some enlightenment and also give you some ideas of how to do intuitive painting if it's something you want to try out. This is the final result of my intuitive painting. And I want to leave you with a description which I think is really powerful from wholeheart.com. So it says, there's no prior painting experience necessary, which I stated, and I think it's really powerful because when you say painting or let's do artwork, people get scared and they get intimidated because they've never done it before, or they don't know how to paint, or they believe they don't know how to paint. And truly, it's not necessary for you to have that experience. You can pick up any art material, anything that you have at your home, and do something like this, which is meditative and intuitive. Stemming from a deep belief that creativity is fundamental to human health and well-being. It can be enlightening, invigorating, deeply moving, playful, and cathartic. Through the painting process, we learn to acknowledge that anything that comes up is coming up to be healed. So these are really powerful words, and I hope that you take them to heart and that you try some intuitive painting. And let me know down in the comments if you have been doing intuitive painting for a while and if it has helped you, or if this is your first time trying it and what was your experience like. I would love to hear about that. Thank you for checking out this video and my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and also check out my website coronafineart.com for more content. And I will see you next time.